Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming onto the dais Senior Partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers India, Gautam Mehra, where he heads the Tax and Regulatory Services wing at the firm, to please address the audience.
Somebody's phone ringing. But Honorable Justice Gupta ji, Shinjini, Pratap ji, speakers for the rest of the day and friends, a very good morning. I had the privilege of probably having an overlap between friends and some of the speakers. And I attribute that to one of the benefits of having more salt and pepper in the hair, having also the benefit of having retained some of it. As you would have seen the agenda for the day, friends, this is not just another tax conference. We have a very interesting mix. So even as you are in your organizations looking at the effect of the change of global supply chain and China +1, and you'll be looking at the session on customs, on what do I take away for my organization? Where do I focus? And how do I recalibrate my global supply and the customs piece? At the same time, you'll also be educated on the changes in digital economy and upcoming Pillar 1, and I'm going to talk about that right now. But where in the tax conference do you see the effect of state finances also being discussed, along with next stage reforms of GST? So friends, like I said, this is not just another tax conference. We are all well aware, change is the only constant. I would go a step ahead and argue that disruption has replaced change as being the only constant in this mantra. And in the theme of being disruptive, I'm going to ask you to test yourselves today, not just on the knowledge that you gain from here, but at the same time asking yourself the question, am I living in the past, in the present, or in the future? And let me just give 3 simple examples to bring it to life, what we are seeing in our experience with clients. I think all of us have moved beyond thinking of data lake as being a border body. But think back about yesterday, last week, last month. How many interventions have you and your team had while bringing data from the original source, your ERP systems, to the final destination, which could be not just a GST return or a withholding tax return, an LODR reporting, or Pillar 2 reporting, which is going to be global. We just helped a client with automating some of this for an LODR reporting. And guess what? There was no need of doing any reconciliations between what you are reporting on related parties to SEBI versus what you're doing in your transfer pricing documentation versus what you're doing for corporate governance. And the basis of this is eliminating interventions in the data, no Excel sheets, make sure that everything comes out from the source. Because guess what? Just like in the GST, the government is ahead of you in this race. So, action 1, test yourselves. Are you living in the past, the present, or the future? Example 2, I'm going to talk of AI, and I'm not talking of the AI that Honorable Prime Minister so wisely mentioned in the US, America, and India. I'm not talking of the AI that all of us Indians are looking proudly for a change and experiencing it, the national carrier. I'm talking of the AI for which somebody rightly remarked, AI is not going to replace jobs. People who know AI will. And my question to you is, do you and your team know AI? Again, as we work across organizations, and I'll say the more progressive ones, the question they are asking themselves is not, how do I support AI in my processes? No. The question to ask is, how am I changing my processes to ensure that AI is enabled? So I'll challenge you to think differently on this. And if you are in an organization which is not investing on educating you on AI, or worse still, it's educating the front-end team but not the finance and the tax team, you need to stand up and make some noise. And the last example, we've been interacting with clients on the recent pillar developments. Again, I'm sure in your organizations, when you send a mail communication out for saying we want to discuss the developments in pillars, people in the office are not looking at concrete structures or thinking beyond that. I hope you've crossed that bridge at least. Pillar 2, our recent conversations with clients. It's yes, what's the financial impact on me? And yes, how do I make sure I get the reporting right? I don't want to be held up for wrong reporting globally. But go back. A few years ago, there was consolidation of financial reporting. And what was the trend? Consolidation of the function of financial reporting globally. We are in a very similar era in tax. It's about consolidation of tax reporting. How is your tax function organized? Have you started thinking about consolidating your tax function? If not, I will again challenge you. Start thinking about tomorrow. So these were just 3 live examples of ensuring that you think about tomorrow, because that will give you not just quality time, not just quality growth for your organizations and yourselves, but also ensure that you continue to retain a quality team. As always, we at PwC are here to share our experience, not just today, but beyond. And as we like to say, hum hai na. With that, I'm looking forward, like you, to the rest of a fantastic day of discussions, debate, with some very different insights, including from my ex-colleague Shinjini, who's going to talk of how women can make a difference in this equation. So thank you, TIOL, for considering us as being knowledge partners, and look forward to interacting with you the rest of the day. Thank you so much.